I always wanted to keep and breed dwarf gouramis. I have a ton of experience breeding different kinds of fish with great results, but not this one. I just never had a chance to really commit to them and do it properly. So I decided to make this happen with my new project. And part 1 of this project is to build a beautiful, very densely planted tank for those wonderful fish, so they can feel safe, comfortable, and possibly ready for breeding. Let's get to work. This is the tank I will use for this build. It's a standard 50 cm tank, so it's not exactly huge, but it's a good size if we want to observe and condition those guys for breeding. But we need to set it up in a very specific way. I'm starting from placing this LED light on top of this tank. For now, I will set it to max power, but it's adaptable, so I can dim the light if I want. And this will be very important for later. Okay, but let's move to the actual building. I'm starting with this big wood piece. It's a really cool looking one, and it will fit to the tank very nicely. As you can see, it's already secured with big rocks. I did that so it cannot float once I fill the tank with water. And believe me, it's not going anywhere with those anchors. Okay, let's test it. Yes, that's perfect. It looks great. And look how detailed it is. It really is a great piece. I want to have a lot of space for my plants, so I'm not putting any more decorations at this point. This one big piece will be enough. But before we plant anything, we obviously need some soil. I will go for this one called control soil. I use it a lot recently with some great results. And I use quite a lot, especially at the back. And here's why. I'm planning to use a lot of Echinodorus in this tank. I mean a lot. And those plants are very heavy root feeders, so a rich substrate is very important for their healthy growth. If you are interested more about how to grow them, I made a video dedicated to Echinodorus care. It's linked in the description. Before I move on to planting, I'm placing this internal corner filter right here. Yes, I know it looks ugly now, but once the plants settle, it will be hidden, so don't worry. But anyway, I start by putting those bigger types at the back. It's all a part of the plan to make this tank very densely planted. Dwarf Gouramis really like to hide among the plants. They feel much safer around them, plus those bigger leaves will create a lot of shade for them. Notice that under every big plant I'm placing additional nutrient sticks. It will also help to feed their roots. After I'm done with bigger plants, I plant smaller Echinodorus tenellus in the front. I hope it will create nice carpet all over the tank. And here we are. It's very simple, but I think that even now it looks quite good, even though those plants obviously have some growing up to do, especially the front part. Let's move this tank to the final position and fill it with water. Okay, that's much better. And you know what? I really like it. It definitely shows a lot of potential. It's not very dense yet, but give it some time. Those plants can really get big, and we should see a lot of progress in just few weeks. And by the way, this is why we set this light on max power, because those plants, they will need a lot of light, especially at the beginning. Okay, but now let's see what happens after a few weeks. And here we are. It's only 3 weeks later. And check this out. Look at that difference. Plants really took off and they start to spread across entire tank. Especially here, look at this front. It looks like it's made for dwarf gouramis. You know, probably because it was. They will love it here. There are many hiding places among those plants. It's getting really dense and it starts to look very beautiful. So green. But we are not done yet. I still need to wait few additional weeks because I want this tank to get really wild. So let's get back to it after another 3 weeks. And welcome to the jungle. Oh yes, this is what I mean by densely planted tank. This is just perfect. This Echinodorus at the front is spreading like crazy. All the plants at the back are also growing very fast and look very healthy. I mean, basically this entire tank is just full of great looking plants. I love how chaotic and wild it seems to be. Just look at the difference here. What a great progress. But the most important thing is that our fish are here. Yes, I have a great looking pair of Dwarf Gouramis in this tank. They look fantastic, they have great colors, they seem to feel very comfortable among those plants, and they are very active. Normally they can be quite shy, but not in there. And you know what? I think that this wild design is making them much braver, and they are visible all the time. What a great result that is for me. Additionally, I put some ditterfish in there, this small group of X-ray tetras. They are here to swim in the open and make those gouramis feel more secure. And I have to say, good job guys, but you will not stay here permanently. This tank is a bit overstocked, and new tank is on the way, just for you. So, I got what I wanted. Part 1 of my breeding project is done, and I have a perfect environment for my Dwarf Gouramis. So, what's next? Well, my plan is to keep them like that for additional week or two, so they can settle. And then, I want to condition them for breeding. As always, I want this breeding to happen naturally, without empty tank or anything like that. So there are some changes to come. Oh man, I really hope it happens in this tank. It would be so awesome to observe. So please keep your fingers crossed. Will I succeed? What will happen next? I don't know yet, but I'm super excited to find out. If you have any suggestions about breeding them, let me know in the comments. It's really useful. If you don't want to miss out on the second part, consider subscribing if you haven't already. If you like the tank and that video, please leave a like, it really helps me out. But for now, thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next one.